This is my Nissan Pulsar GTIR that I've had in my possession for 8 years now. This is my 30-year-old Nissan Pulsar GTIR. In an attempt to rescue the car, I decided it's time to move it from my house down to the workshop to begin restoring it. In the past few weeks we've been fitting loads of new parts. But in spite of this, the car's actually almost pushed me over the edge. It's kind of happening to me right now. To the point that it's even had me working outside in the dark to try and get it back up and running again. But regardless of this, in the last video I finally got this car running, but it's still not quite complete. So I'm excited about this one now. I can finally show you guys all the parts that we have sitting ready to fit to the car, which would have been done already if it wasn't for that pesky issue, which was all my fault. We now know that. The car is running better now, but hopefully we can start getting through all this stuff and get it ready for this road trip to battle my other 4-wheel drive car. Right, first job we're going to tackle is these two radiator hoses, which I ordered separately from the kit. They don't come with the kit. It was an additional £95 for these two. So the small one is going to be in here and replace this. That must be a home job thing, I don't know why, but that's going to be there. And this one is going to be the radiator hose from the thermostat housing down into the bottom of the radiator. So we're going to tackle these two first. No point bleeding the car then changing these over. So we're going to tackle these, then we can get the coolant in. Right, first things first, to change the coolant pipes, we're just removing these Jubilee clips with a plain screwdriver. There's one at either side of this coolant hose and we're going to remove the whole elbow. I placed a jug underneath the car to catch any coolant that's spilling out. A little wiggle and a twist and off comes the first coolant pipe. I was actually expecting a little bit of coolant to come out here, but for some reason it didn't. On with the new pipe, which you'll see matches all the branding of our other pipes that we have already changed on the car. And we can tighten up the Jubilee clips again with our plain screwdriver. Next it's time to tackle the second pipe out of the two. This is the longer one which reaches down to the bottom of the radiator. It seems to be a lot tighter to get off. I've actually just used my pry tool to slacken it off a little bit so I can catch all of the coolant. It is new coolant in the car, so I'm trying to catch it and reuse it. And you can see from the jugs the coolant colour is different, even though it's all came out the radiator, so I'm guessing that's maybe because it hasn't mixed properly. The hoses seem to be a slightly different shape, but I don't know if that's... It does fit pretty well, but we're kind of different. So I'm fitting the new hose on and I'm fitting it at the bottom side first, just to see if this makes it easier. And then I'm cleaning up the top at the thermostat housing side just with a little bit of Scotch-Brite. And then I'm slipping the hose on the top side at the thermostat housing. And then we can secure both these Jubilee clips with our plain screwdriver. And the hose seems to be sitting pretty good. Then it's time for some new coolant to go in, and I'm using this fancy tool that I've always seen Mighty Car Mods use. It's leaking. A lot of shite. So we can't run the engine with that one. But for some reason mine's is leaking anytime, so I don't know if the fittings are incorrect.
It's peed out everywhere.
So I've just scrapped that idea and I've chosen to just pour it in as I would have normally. Then I can clean out the old expansion tank and you can see the colour of the water that's in there. With it cleaned out, we can slip on its new coolant line and put in some pre-mixed stuff that I made up. So while we're in this area and we have the top intercooler off, I thought it's a good time to address the rocker cover bolts. As I've shown in previous videos, the rocker cover bolts, half of them are missing, some of them are nuts, some of them are bolts, so it's time we swap them out for good ones. So I'm just stripping off the bracket that holds the top mount intercooler, and then I'm taking off this breather hose. And you can see that that is a misshaped bolt in there and not a nut. So we've got a new kit here for the rocker cover, tied everything up. I've got missing ones, we've got assortments in, we've got homemade stuff in there. Just want to make sure that we're not losing any pressure or any oil leaking from there. So we've got the new kit, small price to pay, really, £40 odd. In the kit we have two different sizes of studs, so I'm going to assume I've actually made no too bad a guess there with that bolt, if that was me, because I broke a rocker cover and I had to buy a second hand one. So that's not too bad, but the longer ones are going to be for up here, I would imagine, in between there. I don't know how many longer ones I have, but it might just be the one there. And they come with this little kind of plasticky washer. Is it plastic? Oh, it's metal. Oh, my blood's running cold. Oh, it's metal. I bit that there. Right, let's just get it in the car. No more eating it. Oh, there we go. So we're just going to go around them and do them all at once. This is a new gasket because when I changed the rocker cover, I did fit a new gasket. New plan, I'm going to take them all off and then put them all back in, because just in case there's a little bit of alignment needing done, that doesn't look bang on centre there. It looks as if it's just touched over slightly down in the hole. So if I slacken them all off and then just start them all loose to make sure it's in the right position, and then we'll sequence them down after that. That was plan B, this is plan C. These are all studs. I forgot, these are like nuts and washers, and that's a stud. So to get the studs out to fit our new kit, we need to take the whole rocker cover off. So to remove the full rocker cover, I'm taking this piece of boost pipe off. I'm covering the section back up with a glove to make sure nothing falls in, and I can start buzzing off the nuts. I broke everything. I dropped everything. My hands don't work, so unfortunately I've had an accident with this hand and it doesn't work the way it's supposed to, so you'll see that I dropped quite a lot. Yeah, this one's tight. Oh, left it loose, it was right to tighty there. I think I'm pulling the whole stud out. I need to stop. Oh no. Is there clearance there? I don't know. So these nuts have actually seized on and it's pulling the whole stud. I hope. So to remove the full rocker cover, I basically have to take off anything that is touching it. So first I've taken off the throttle cable, and then I'm disconnecting these high tension leads. There's also a breather pipe on the back that has to come off. It was a little bit stiff, and then there's a breather pipe at the right hand side as well that I'm going to remove. So we need to remove this and make sure no crap falls in, and it'll give us a little look at the cams and stuff, and maybe expose the chain. I'm sure it does while we're here. So let's try and prise this up. I'm going to have to reuse the gasket though, which is unfortunate. Something fell there. Mm-hmm. Did you hear it? Mm-hmm. Where did it go though? Something definitely fell. Right, so if it had a stud, it should have a washer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the one in the middle 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's one fell. Oh no man, if that's in there, that's bad news. Did you hear it? Play back the noise again. There it's there. Oh my god. Look. There.
I see it.
It's a good job I found that there. Oh my god, that would have blew the engine. That would have smashed the rockers and everything, the valves, the lot. She hates me. I think it's my negligence though. Thank God, man. I'm going to double check this again though to make sure that's all that fell. Oh, you wee bitch. Oh, the rubber's on it. That was close, man. This can, man. I'm going to double check everything, count everything. I'm no chancing it. Did that come out? Yeah, it's came out. Oh yeah, it's out. So that one's came, the studs came out with the nut. Let's just try and be sensible here and no blow the car up before we can challenge it against our other 4-wheel drive car. Also want to note as well, this is the last time I wear this dirty clothing in these videos. We're going to get brand new apparel, is that what you call it? Brand new apparel for the YouTube channel only that I promise I won't wear anywhere else. And we might even sell you guys some, or give you it for free. So some of these studs are tight in there, so I'm just working them off a little bit loose and then back tight again, slowly working them out to make sure that I don't snap any. You can see this one's really tight, so I'm just taking it a little bit at a time. And then off with the last one, and that is all the studs removed. So just like we done on the last episode with, what did I do it on? Oh, an inlet manifold. We're going to clean the threads in here because some of them are kind of full of 30-odd-year-old crud. No idea how long those studs were in there for. Went through a lot of heat cycles. So I'm just using the trick again. This is one new stud. I have compared it to one of the studs that came out, so it's a 1 thread pitch. And I'm going through Darren's kit again. And it's number 6, so 6.6 by 1. Right, that goes in there, trust me, I've done it. So we're going to look for 6 by 1 on this. Aim 6 times 1 into the drawer and get a little socket set again. And good guess, it's that one there. Quarter drive ratchet. And we can now clean all these threads up just to make sure that we're not going to break any new studs down in the cylinder head. First one down, I chose an easy one out of sight there, and that is the rubbish we're taking out there. So it's just worthwhile doing it. I try and love the car as much as I can and hope that one day she'll love me back. If not, I will scrap her down and sell her for parts. Right, I'm going to do one live, except it's no live, but you know what I mean. And I'm going to put a light on and not flicker sometimes, but I'm going to try and dim it down. It's because it's so important that I get this straight. If I cut this at an angle, it's game over, it's ruined. So I'm starting it with my fingers, and once it's going good, I'll then get the ratchet on. It needs to be straight. Otherwise we're cutting a whole new thread into this. I think I'm okay there. Any resistance whatsoever, we're going to have to back off. And you can see if Michelle comes round here, we're starting to knock some of the rubbish out the bottom here. See it coming? Yeah. And it's going nice and easy. There shouldn't be, we're only cleaning threads, we're not cutting threads. Quite a lot coming out this. And if you get a little bit tight or whatever, back it off and then go back in again. It'll start loosening all the rubbish. Oh, there's loads falling out that. So we're all the way through now, so I know we're clean. Time to come back out. No power tools when you're doing this, guys, trust me. It might be a slow process and it might be a bit anal, but it's going to be so much worth it in the long run. Save yourself a lot of headaches over here, Michelle. So most of it fell out the bottom, but we've still got some rubbish there. And we're not blowing it or anything because we don't want to blow it in there. We need to keep it all out. And look, if Michelle can get close in there, look at that nice lovely thread. You can see it shining from there. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more to go. 11. Oh, I've still got that to take out. 11 more to go. I'm actually in my element here, I'm loving this. I just love fixing stuff.
But because it's actually going right for a change.
Who said it's going right? There's a long way to go here. I just love fixing stuff. Gets me out of bed in the morning. No one gets to see the screaming though. And there is a lot of screaming. I'm sure there's a few viewers here that just love fixing stuff.
Tinkering?
Tinkering, yep. Another one bites the dust. I'll say something, I don't know how many people I actually know who have project cars and love tinkering on them, even though they know it's never going to see the tarmac again. But they still tinker.
So you try to tell us or something about this car?
This is going to see tarmac. I promised my viewers that. I promised that when I started this. Last one. Well, I've got the middle one, but I did actually see somewhere that someone else had this kit before. And I'm not sure if they mentioned that one of them was too short, they needed a longer bolt. So there is only one long one for the middle. Either the long one's no long enough, or they never got a long one in the kit, so you're going to have to do some investigating with that middle stud there. And then clean all the surface up before we put the rocker cover back on, and then finally tighten it down. The surface here is actually pretty clean, so it's just a quick wipe to take any residue off to ensure that the gasket is going to seal properly. And just one final double check to make sure I haven't dropped anything else in there. And we can start slipping the rocker cover back on. So then I can slide in the first part, which is the little washer, and I'm just going to slide all these in before we start tightening them down with the bolts. Look how easy all these are starting now that we've cleaned the thread. These are all going in way easy. So it was time well spent. They're all going in, and then we're going to kind of go down in a star-shaped sequence, draw the gasket down. Well, these are class. While I have the tap and die kit out, I thought it was best to remove the distributor cap and clean up the threads in there, as one of them was a little bit stripped. It plays an important part, this cap, so it's important that it's held on securely. And then my clip arrived for the MAF sensor, so we can pop it in place and get it snapped in, which means no more cable tie. Now it's time to address that rather noisy exhaust. I do have the standard system which I'm working on here. It does have a portion of the old centre section still bolted on, so I've managed to buzz that off using a little bit of heat, and you can see that it's pretty much ruined, but we're still able to save the back box. So now it's time to wrestle the current exhaust tip off. It's pretty well stuck on there, so it took a bit of perseverance to get it wiggled off. Now we can bolt up the back box that we're going to be using from now on. I'm not 100% convinced with the way it sits. I don't like the way the exhaust silencer actually shows here. It's not sitting 100% correct, so I've removed the exhaust bush, which you can see is pretty much perished, so I'm going to replace it for a new one, which hopefully will draw up the tip a little bit, but we've still got the centre section to bolt up as well. I don't like this showing. What's the bets that old one's going back on?
I think I'm busy.
I say it every episode, this is Pulsar life. So basically the issues we're having, if you've not seen on the time lapse, is the centre section here which I've dropped at the sports cat I've got on. Basically it doesn't have a flange on this side, it was piped. Doesn't have a flange on this side, it was piped straight into this and then clamped with this. The exhaust back box, which it's a Jasma box, but I'm assuming this is standard because I think I've seen this before. Works on all the standard mounts as well, and it does have a flange. So to match flange to an unflange, I'm either going to have to weld a flange on, or cut that one off, because that does slip into this, and then I could clamp it again. But then if I don't like it, then I'll just walk back. I've ruined it, have I? No, I've not ruined it, because this is still no flanged. But I'll have ruined the back box if I cut the flange off. And if I weld, if I cut, if I cut that centre section and weld that flange onto that, then I can't put this back on because it'll be too short. Pulsar life. Oh, I don't feel well. Are you loving life in there, Michelle?
Do I suit it?
What?
Do I suit it?
Do you suit it? If you suit it so much, you can take it in the 4-wheel drive road trip that's coming up, and I'll take the other 4-wheel drive car.
No.
And when you break down, I'll just leave you.
Listen, she's not going to make a four-wheel drive road trip, let's be honest.
Do you seriously believe I'm going to give up on this?
I believe that she's going to give up on you.
Oh, there's every chance.
Sorry, she's given up on you.
8 years ago. She gave up on the last owner, that's why he sold them to me.
Aye. I will be very surprised if the road trip happens this year, I'm not going.
Wow. Thumbs down for you, Michelle. Thumbs down. Poor attitude, that.
8 years. 8 years.
Betty, I'll overtake you in this on the 4-wheel drive road trip.
Bet what?
Dinner. At the
Overnight stay.
Overnight stay.
On the road trip.
On the road trip.
That's all Paul's got time for in this episode, because I'm hungry. If you're enjoying the Pulsar content, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. In the next video, Paul should be taking it for its first drive. If not, it's getting it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Maybe.